Awesome. Welcome into another day of our Thanksgiving journal. Can you believe it? We are on day 29 out of 30. So today is getting ready to wrap it all up. We got tomorrow, and we will have completed our Thanksgiving journal. And I think it's kind of significant anytime you kind of close the door on a chapter, and we're going to get to open up a new chapter starting in December. And I'm looking forward to celebrating the Christmas season really all month long, because Jesus is a reason for the season and he is worth celebrating every day of the year. So definitely no harm in giving him the whole month of December. So I hope that you'll continue to get in here together and walk through all of our Advent videos that we'll do in December. And I think it'll help us all grow and help us all, again, just continue to grow in thanksgiving towards God for all the amazing things he's done for us. And so today's verse is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, "You've enlarged the nation and increased their joy. They rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, as soldiers rejoice when dividing the plunder." And so I just had like a couple basic thoughts I just wanted to throw out there in regards to what this scripture kind of made me think of. So not necessarily like, oh, directly out of this scripture you can gather these three principles or anything like that. But as I read it, it just made me think about how sometimes the restorative healing work of God is a slow and steady kind of a process. Sometimes it happens in a moment, and sometimes it happens moment by moment. And in those moment by moment times where it's slow and steady, that the increase is coming, that the healing is coming, that the restoration is coming, that whatever thing that might be, it's done one kind of rugged step at a time. And in those seasons, in those situations, Thanksgiving can be a little more complicated because the change is so gradual. You can either, accidentally just end up giving yourself the credit for the change because you probably made a lot of hard, good decisions along the way to help make those things open up and happen. But ultimately, we know even the motivation, even the desire to do good comes from God. So we need to be people that are ready, willing, and able to give God, the thanks, the honor, and the glory for what he is doing in us and what he's empowering us to accomplish. And so basically, I just had three things that I wanted to encourage you with. One is to slow down, because sometimes in the rush and hustle and bustle of life, we miss the God factor in the thing that we're trying to take stock of. Like we want to reflect and evaluate something, and we miss it because we're kind of in a hurry. Sometimes I even fool myself into thinking that I have done some reflection, but because I never really slowed down, it was kind of almost an artificial type of reflection. I don't know. And so the first thing is slow down. Number two would be to reflect, to genuinely reflect on the journey, the growth, the process. Because so often I'm pretty convinced that God is a little less concerned about the destination and much more concerned about the journey, the process that is step by step, moment by moment, transforming you into who he wants you to be, and to be more like him, to reflect his glory more and better, and all of that good stuff. And so we want to slow down, and we want to reflect. We want to genuinely reflect on what God has done. And in my opinion, you should pull out a journal, a notebook, a piece of paper, and you should start writing it down. And really kind of challenge yourself. Like, I'm going to sit here for 10 straight minutes and I'm just going to think about my life over the last year, over the last 18 months, 24 months, whatever the time frame is that will suit you, and begin to catalog the things that God has done for you, the opportunities that have come across, the bad situations that you've seen some redemption come to, because I think that's also a really great opportunity for Thanksgiving, because a lot of times in the moment where really challenging things happen, we have no context to be able to see the hand of God active in that situation, and it requires that later down the road we reflect back to see what has God done? What has he done with that situation to turn anything into good? Because Romans 8:28 says that he works all things together for good to those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And so, but man, how many times have you been through a situation where you thought, there ain't no good coming out of this one? Like that's impossible, but obviously with God, nothing is impossible. And so he brings good out of these crazy situations. But sometimes the time frame on him bringing that good out is a little extended, right? So we want to make sure that we slow down, that we reflect, and then we celebrate. That would be number 3, is to celebrate. Maybe we go 3 and 4. We document, then we celebrate, so that we make sure that we are moving things forward. So I hope that that little quick encouragement, I hope it blesses you today. Hope you're strengthened by it. Drop in the comments what's sticking out to you. What are you thanking God for today? What are you appreciative of? And when is the last time that you slowed down and you genuinely reflected on what God was doing in your life? Love to hear from you on what you've got going on. God bless you tons, and we will see you tomorrow.